Hi guys, this is part 2 of my weekend at the hospital. So we were talking about clear liquids. They wanted me to keep down anything that was clear, seeing that I came in throwing up. So I had ice chips and water, and I did just fine, kept it down, didn't have no stomach pain or nothing. So they told me that Monday morning, the gastroenterologist was going to come by and update me on my condition because he should have the biopsy results in because they took a couple biopsies. Then they told me that my doctor in charge of my case was going to come in and she was going to see me, and that my surgeon would be by to see me, and some other doctor, an internalist or something, was going to come by and see me too, just as a follow-up. And after I saw those 4 doctors and they gave me the okay to advance my diet, and I could eat something and keep it down, and if my next set of blood numbers came back and they were okay, then I could go home. So first came my gastro doctor. He came in and told me the reason for my ulcer, and this is where it gets good. Okay, after surgery, my surgeon puts you on omeprazole, Prilosec, for 6 months to help cut down on your stomach acids. You have something called H. pylori bacteria, and it's a normal bacteria that everybody has in their stomach, but they want your levels to stay at a certain point. So the Prilosec is supposed to help cut down on that. But they also have you take a probiotic, which is just another chewable pill that I've been taking. Mine are banana. And the probiotic is considered a fauna, and the H. pylori is considered a flora, so it kind of balances it out so you don't have too much bacteria in you, but you still need that bacteria. Well, because I told you before I'm having a probiotic reaction, my endo doctor, my gastrointestinal whatever, he said that while I'm having this issue with my probiotics, like, it's not really an allergic reaction, but it's just a reaction because I have a lot. He said you had your probiotics thing going on. You also had your H. pylori going on, and instead of fighting each other like they should have, both of them joined forces and started fighting you, and that's when you formed the ulcer. So, yeah. He said that my H. pylori became an infection. I got the ulcer. They found the infection in the ulcer. They had me on antibiotics on Saturday, like right away. Then they changed up medications because they found out that the particular type of bacteria that I had was considered a antibacterial resistant strain. So they upgraded me from some kind of amoxicillin, plus I'm also allergic to psyllins, so that wasn't sitting well. I was starting to get itchy, to some other kind of medication. I have it written down. And then that's when I started to feel better, they said, was when they got the antibiotics, the right antibiotics in me, and my blood levels started to level out. So now that I'm home, I still have to take my Prilosec. I have to take it 3 times a day. And I still have to take my probiotics. And tomorrow I am supposed to follow up with my PCP, who I haven't seen in a year. She is actually out on maternity leave. I didn't even know she was pregnant. So I have to follow up with her associate and have my blood drawn and checked. And they're going to check my crit. And your crit is supposed to be in the 30s, or at least mine is. If it drops below 30, I have to go back to the hospital. So keep your fingers crossed. Anyway, So he came by and he talked to me, and then my, I guess, attending doctor came by, and she had said that the same thing, that you had an infection and it joined, and it's kind of in a common place, and there's nothing that, my main concern was that there was something that I did wrong. I either ate the wrong thing or was drinking the wrong thing, or how did ulcers form? I don't smoke. I don't drink. Well, I haven't drank since surgery. I don't do drugs unless they're prescribed to me. How did I get this? So that was my main concern, that I did something wrong. And I told her I don't want to do anything wrong. And she said, it's not anything that you did wrong. These things just happen. So if you're not on an acid reducer and or a probiotic, and you're just out of surgery, my best advice is to get on one now. I can't imagine, I know some people don't take probiotics, and so I kind of can't imagine where I would be if I didn't already have some kind of probiotics in my body. They told me my husband is responsible for saving my life, because if I had decided, if I had decided to wait it out like I had originally wanted to do, they said I probably would not have made it through the night. So, my husband's got like a big head on his shoulders now because he saved my life. He's like, he's going to play that card when he messes up real big. Yeah, I might have crashed the car, but I saved your life. So, he's so funny. So Monday morning, they advanced my diet after I saw the second doctor. And, I had a cheese omelet with low fat, low sodium cheese. But the turnaround time, I guess, from the time you order to the time they bring it up to you is 40 minutes, they said. So by the time my omelet got up to me, the cheese on it had turned back into a solid cheese instead of melted cheese. So it looked like somebody had put saran wrap in my omelet and on top. I mean, it was awful. So I literally could pull it back. It was like plastic. But I had a fourth of the omelet, and I cut it into very tiny pieces because I haven't been able to do egg since surgery. And really, that was the only thing on the menu that I could have at the time, because all their other options on the menu were not bariatric friendly. And so I had that, and I had a bite of toast, and I kept that down just fine, and I waited and I watched the clock, and there was no reaction. So by the time the next doctor came by and they asked me, have you thrown up? Did it make you sick? How did you do? I was able to say, it's been an hour and I haven't been sick. So they were going to let me go home, but then my numbers dipped again, so they kept me overnight just to watch it level out. And then this morning I get, what are you still doing here? Go home, from my surgeon, who finally graced me with his presence, which I knew I probably wouldn't have seen him on Sunday because he's not at the hospital, and I wasn't, quote, an emergency case anymore. I was out of ICU. And Mondays and Tuesdays he does surgeries up until I think it's 2 or 3 o'clock. So I knew seeing him was going to be slim. So when he came by at like 6 o'clock in the morning, it was kind of funny. So yeah, that's my experience. And like I said, they told me it was nothing that I did wrong, which was my concern from the start. And they said just to take it easy, and they said these things happen to anybody. You never know, and it's very scary. But if this is my only, and I said this with my infected incision, if this is my only complication, well then so be it. Because being at the hospital, I heard so many different horror stories from people. That one gal who was down the hall, I talked to briefly while I was walking around. She is from a different state, and she didn't have a bariatric program where she was, and her cardiologist did her surgery, and he botched it up. And that's why she was there, to have it revised. So, I mean, she was very sick. She looked awful. And she was telling me all these horrible, awful things that were going wrong with her. And her connection wasn't sealed right. She had a leak. And this wasn't done right. And that wasn't done right. And they didn't tell her what kind of diet she should be on. And so she didn't know that, you know, there was a thing called dumping syndrome. And she didn't read any books. She didn't know that that kind of stuff was out there. So I'm very grateful that I've educated myself with reading research. I'm very fortunate that I've got a great surgical team and that they were right on it, and that I'm still here today, especially after all the blood lace that I've lost. So educate yourselves. If you're just going into surgery, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure you know what your diet and your restrictions are. Ask questions. And for the love of Peter, make sure you have a specialist. So, yeah, as I said, I had a lot of IV, a lot of blood. So I am up 5 pounds this week, which it'll come off of me. And I have had a minor little setback, and I'm not going to let it stop me. My plan actually today is to rest up for a little bit, and then I'm going to go and take a nice long walk because I want some fresh air. Being stuck in a hospital too long. But anyway, my best to you guys. Thank you for your love and support for all my friends that are on Facebook, and I will talk to you guys again pretty soon. Bye.